The flaming sols exploded onto the slate. In the next moment, the flower blossomed and turned into a red lotus bullet. She threw away the second-level adventurer's perception speed, came to the stunned tough warrior and swung this slash. Red flames exploded. Then, a death blow. The star sword is equipped with a powerful flame enchantment, and just swinging the sword causes level 4 humans to fall into a state of inability to fight. Tammuz. How is it possible? With one blow. The red track didn't stop. The flame connected to both feet is like a propellant, also like fuel. Ryu accelerated and projected the violent explosive flames that she was good at, and slashed at the distraught Freya Familia. One flash, 2 flashes, then skipped 3 and went straight to 5 flashes. The swift and windy path of the sword was accompanied by explosions. Under the exaggerated slaughter that seemed contradictory at first glance, the 5 tough warriors fell to the ground together. It releases what should be called the original, fire power, a fire attribute magic known for its absolute power, regardless of whether it is a sword or a shield, and burns the enemy and the weapons on his body. They lost 6 companions in an instant, and the warriors roared in anger. They thought that Ryu would knock down a corner of the siege net and escape, but she took advantage of the situation and rushed to her side, which made them extremely angry. Then they swung their swords, aimed with their bows and were about to draw their spears, but to no avail. Any attack or defense is no match for the flight of the elf wearing a red lotus. The galloping wind and the roar of the flames create a current. The tough warriors were all scattered around Ryu. Nothing can be done. They were defeated by her one after another, and even the gods and people watching the battle were shocked. If I had to list her mistakes, it would be that they were unable to cooperate quickly, which was what caused this bad result. If Hayden was commanding from the side, or the Loki Familia, who valued the power of the organization, they would be able to respond no matter how severe the damage. But they are warriors. The fierce faction fights leave them very exhausted of their individual strength, so although they can join their companions, they cannot adopt complicated tactics to impede the elf's movements. And for the current Ryu, as long as she repeats the one-by-one process, she will never lose. Hogni was sure. After all, Hogni saw it. Behind Ryu, who was slashing at high speed, a red-haired girl's face could be seen. I saw a ghost superimposed on her body. It was the ghost of Elise Lovell, smiling and fighting with Ryu. The elf is not alone. Red Flame danced with Gale Wind. As if they had never been separated, the girls walked forward boldly. This is little Elisa's magic. The tower was once again enveloped by shock. There is no one here who doesn't know about the Astrea Familia that was destroyed 5 years ago. Seeing Ryu using powerful flames to bestow magic, the gods even forgot to sit down and began to scream. She's using someone else's magic. Could it be summoning? The same as 1,000 elves. In this netherworld, only one family member has been confirmed to be able to use other people's magic. While the gods were still excited, they made guesses, chattered non-stop, and were extremely noisy. No, it's not summoning. However, Hermes denied the speculation with just one god pillar. That's inheritance. As if seeing something dazzling, he stated with a smile on his face. The girl's justice has returned. Like the countless lights that inhabit the night sky, the will of the Astrea Familia spread and transformed into the light of stardust, but it always lived in Ryu's heart. The magic manifested along with the sublimation of LV6. Her capabilities are called the inheritance of justice, engraved on her back with the blood of the god who resides with the 10 family members who have the same blessing, and she can inherit her magic and use it, which only belongs to the miracle of magic. This is a very abnormal state of affairs, a lower limit possibility, and a particularly special unknown. Also the sword and wings of justice that fulfilled the oath. Hermes felt the greatest emotion today, and at the same time, he smiled and clapped his hands, sending blessings. Under the tower, in the central square. Seeing the flame of justice reflected in the mirror of God above his head, a certain businessman shed tears. During the dark period, the couple who were rescued by the righteous family hugged their beloved daughter and let out the sound of sobbing. This is the fruit of righteousness. The best proof is that the nobility of the girls who hold the flag of justice and what they did will not disappear. People don't know why she was on that battlefield. However, there is only one thing he and she need to do. The people's tears ended up turning into a furious wave of solidarity. At this moment, the sky in the remote forest is dotted with the stars in the sky and night sky. Please respond to the ignorant self, just at this time to bestow the blessing of sparks. Protect those who abandon you with the mercy of light. Parallel corner. Stop her. But he couldn't catch it. Furthermore, those who wanted to interrupt the chant, those who approached recklessly received explosive blows one by one and were punished. Hogni, who had been standing there for a long time, also changed his expression greatly and slashed towards Ryu. Facing a first-level adventurer who was completely different from other fighters, not even Ryu could dodge easily. Come, wandering wind, wandering people. Cut through the sky, run through the desert, overcome all. But she was able to attack again and again, solidly promoting the singing's progress. High-speed singing in high-speed combat. Ryu's display of techniques that discredited the magic swordsman, and more importantly, the courage of not being afraid of the enemy's attack, made Hogni tilt his face bitterly. This made him think, this compatriot is more used to singing than anyone else. Plus, there's even a magic circle. Spreading beneath his feet is a dark green glow, which looks like a pattern that symbolizes the forest. It can greatly increase the power of magic, which is the proof of a senior wizard. Until 5 years ago, when her whereabouts were unknown, she did not have the nature of a wizard. Hogni realizes that she even manifests new spells and abilities. He also realized that the next bombardment was unusual and would plunge the battle into chaos. For Hogni, even at level 6, he can take down an opponent who is distracted by the corner. But Flame Petal stopped him. If Ryu's stance is broken by one step, the flame attached to Ryu's sword will explode, disturbing Hogni's stance and distance. Unstoppable, this impact hit him hard, and it was also a thought shared by those watching from the sidelines. Very fast dash. Hythe was taken aback by the elf's figure that he couldn't reach with his own eyes. So strong. Hearing the opera playing loudly, Hayden expressed his approval of his compatriots who could match them. What is that dash? Seeing the irrational view of her being far superior to the warrior, Lily was in a state of confusion, eyes circling. The light from the boarding stardust destroys the enemy. Then, the level 6 elf's proud bombardment broke free. Starlight wind. The group of light jade large cannons entangled in the green wind swallowed the main battlefield. Jumping high, a wide area attack spell was launched above his head. The brilliance of each stardust has a violent destructive power, and all the tough warriors within the range of the effect are blown away, crushed to the ground, engulfed by light and wind, and thus defeated. Not only the vanguard, but the bombardment also brought guards like Hythe into attack range, and even the full-fledged Cinderellas were pushed into the shock vortex. What? This magic, could be said. Your Excellency Ryu. Seeing the turbulent flow of light and wind released by the right wing of the coalition forces that should have been destroyed, the Gulliver brothers were startled, and Aisha and Mikoto also widened their eyes. Ryu. In the depths of the field of vision, seeing this flashing current of the house of God, Freya, who had no way of knowing the details of the battlefield, also knew about its appearance. The frantic male and female guards finally returned, and she put on a persona mask to prevent anyone from seeing what she was thinking, and then narrowed her silver pupils. The shock also hit Belle, who was beaten by Otter. The boom also reached the ears of Alan, who was hunting the gods. This shock shocked even Hestia, who was desperately running away. The intervention of just one elf threw the Alza city ruins into chaos. How dare you do that? Hogni was the only one who escaped this violent storm of light. The dark elf even used the magic chants of his super short text to neutralize, and at the same time avoided the crisis with movements that far surpassed the surrounding crowd.